Zarok versus Nagano, and
Cool.
I won't do any spoilers, but I think this is going to be an interesting game.
Okay, I don't actually know what you're referring to there, but yes, I completely agree, Dan. It's all hallmarks of an instant classic. I was trying to think what you're referring to. Sure, you're right. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's amazing. All right, let's get into the game. Hello everybody and welcome to game 2 of King of the Hill for this week 2. And we have for you right now just brutalizing Von Ivan in the previous game, a player who is top in on many tournaments, 1v1, 2v2, KotH1, KotH2. It is Nagano, the powerhouse Nagano, playing as the austere from the north side of Angerville.
Yeah, I saw Nagano on his beginning. His rampage this week is going to meet an interesting test from the south in Zarok, playing as the Soviets. This guy could be affectionately known as somewhat of a one-trick, you could say, but a one-trick is never more powerful, Dan, than in a best-of-one situation on his most powerful faction. So this is Zarok at his absolute best. He's playing the Soviets. He's on the south side of Angerville, a map you can lock down quite fiercely. So I'm interested to see how he does here. He could have the game of his life, and he could make it very interesting. And there's one unit, Dan, that can help him do that, and I think you know what that is.
Yeah, I think this is what I was saying before the game. We saw that he was playing the Soviets, and this is kind of what we wanted to see, because I haven't seen enough of Maxims recently. God, I can't believe I'm saying that. But, you know, really, we just go through all these stages with the Soviets. We see either everybody playing Penals, everybody playing Maxims, everybody playing Dushka to Lend-Lease, do you know what I mean? But at the moment, we're seeing some players play Conscript, some players play Tier 1, some Snipers. So this is great. We're getting good variety from Soviets, which I really like, and I appreciate that a player like Zarok exists who will play Maxims in this particular way. It's no longer just abusive. It is a play style that is unique to him, and I love it.
Yeah, exactly. They're not as horrifically overpowered as they once were. They're just somewhat irritating that they're a six-man squad now. You know, the actual suppression profile is no longer horrific. It used to be that they instantly suppressed. They had a very quick setup time, but a narrow arc. And if you fielded them in abundance, aka some players went for 5 or 6 of them, you could lock down a map in around 12 minutes. Now, they're just pretty okay. And then you've got these guys that are using it as a stylistic thing. But players like Nagano, tournament legends like him, in theory shouldn't be troubled. But Zarok is a specialist. He's a one-trick playing his most powerful faction. And he is going to be dangerous in this game. So Nagano, in my opinion, should be a little bit wary.
Yeah, hopefully Zarok is going into this game with confidence. He just spots his engineers making the MG on the western side set up immediately, calls an instant retreat, which is a great idea. And just like in the previous game, we know that we know that Tier 2 is a little bit slower to field in terms of units. So this kind of lack of territory control at the start of the game is nothing really to fear. These Maxims will be able to lock a hell of a lot down quickly. Yeah. And I kind of predict maybe we'll see... Oh, Nagano's likely to pick Scout Car, I think, from experience. But I'd love to see Flamer half-track in the Helping Hand style against this.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what he's going to go for, to be honest. I don't think we can tell at the moment. He's definitely gone Wehrmacht over OKW, possibly his most... one of his most powerful factions. But as I say, Nagano's probably, pound for pound overall, all things considered and added up, the most powerful Company of Heroes series player. He's got such versatility and variety. He will have gone Wehrmacht on this map for a reason, be it the Flamer half-track, mortars, easy access to flamethrowers on his Pioneers. There's so many ways that he can clear out Maxims as the Wehrmacht over the OKW. So, and look at that, Nagano's managed to thread a way through the nearly 4 Maxims on the field, and he's found the cutoff. And he will do that to you. He will find a way around you.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, but I mean, with all the support weapons, he's, I think, doing the right thing by just kind of weaving between them, constantly switching their positions within the buildings, causing havoc. But we don't see anything from Tier 1, which is specifically in line to deal with MG support weapons. That's a nice sneak in that house from Zarok there. Grenadiers, I think they're actually running in a bad direction here because they're going to get caught in the arc of fire. Zarok keeps switching the window. And Nagano's happy to just sit in the building and take the MG fire.
Look at that, though. He gets in one doorway of the building and gets out the other, completely gets around the suppression of the MG, and is then able to decap that point there and just completely obliterate Zarok's resource income. So Nagano is dancing here. He's like a water dancer.
Let's just remember, though, we haven't really looked at the fact that Zarok has gone for the strategic decap on Nagano in a counter to what Nagano was doing. So, you know, both players sit really without many resources at the moment, and when Zarok captures his strategic point, they'll be, you know, they'll be sitting on similar resources for the moment. But of course, when Nagano does recap this, he'll be in a very, very good position to get everything from Tier 2 on the go, which is now on the field. Half-track's available. We'll see if that's his option. Yep, it is. It is the half-track. And I think this is a great idea because if he's got the munitions resources at the moment, straight into Flamer half-track, and these Maxims are going to have a serious problem on their hands.
He's going to have a barbecue. It's going to be horrific, quite frankly. As soon as the Flammenwerfer hits, there's going to be no natural counter. He'll be able to dart around them, probably sustain a little bit of damage through the frontal armor, if you can call it that. And then he'll just burn them, especially if they stay within a garrison. And if he times it with a grenadier push, like he's got these grenadiers on the southwest point there, you know, if he times it, he could probably even steal one.
But this is the interesting thing. Zarok has just seen that half-track come out of the field. I'm not sure what his resources spent. Oh, guards, okay. So he instantly brought guards on the field. I wonder if he'll go for an AT gun as well. And I think this is unfortunate because, am I right in saying that we also have a vehicle spawn that comes in from the north of the base? If Nagano had been bringing his units on the field, he would have been able to use the half-track with the shock factor, you know, get it with the flamethrower first, then bring it in. He's not going to get that now because Zarok has seen the half-track on the field. So this Flammenwerfer is not going to have that.
It's, you know, it's still got it. It's still a huge counter. It's what's known as a hard counter. I mean, the guards are a soft counter to a 2-5-1 for sure. Look at that. The Maxim is getting absolutely toasted out there. It's pursuing. The guards come in. Maybe get some nice shots in. If he doesn't react in time, he could lose it.
Dangerous. Dangerous! Main gun destroyed. Can the engineers get those last rifle shots on to finish? Zarok takes a different path. That was a dangerous engagement for Nagano. And well timed by Zarok.
The combat engineers were never going to take that down, but the guards got 3 really great PTRS shots in there in quick succession. Nagano's reaction times weren't as fast as they possibly could have been. Just look at the combined arms from Nagano at the moment. He did, you know, got 3 grenadiers initially, but then he got the MG42 and the mortar out. So he has a really nice overall composition. And sitting behind green cover here, this Maxim does not stand a chance, and Nagano will be able to keep his resources in the west.
It's nice play. So we're seeing the second squad of guards, which are... Okay, the 2 guards up on the right-hand side at the moment, kind of keeping the Flammenwerfer half-track off of what I think is the most important side of the map, because that's where you get 2 VPs plus the fuel and munitions resources. Left side is kind of is kind of going to be what Nagano is focusing on now, and he's actually having to bring out the second mortar to try and deal with these Maxims now that his half-track has lost the kind of effectiveness.
Yeah, I mean, the other good thing about the east side for the half-track is obviously it's all garrison related. I think 2 mortars is going to be extremely powerful, but you can't deny Zarok has consolidated his territories right now. He's in a decent position. Nagano's contemplating his next move. He's decided to go for a double mortar. And I think, to be honest, it's dead even right now. We've had 2 different changes of hands in terms of map control. Both players haven't really lost anything quite yet, just manpower here and there. So I'm very keen to see how this game develops. It could go either way. Oh, in the west, so first, squad-wide combat engineers are now burning remnants of a former unit.
Yeah, he's trying to get that Maxim out of there as well. Not sure why he's walking. He has got guards coming over to try and deal with the situation, forced to hit the retreat. I think Zarok, he has a lot on the field right now. He's going to go for the AT gun. I thought he may have decided to go into tier 3 quickly for something like a T70, which I think would have been fantastic, actually. But instead it's going to be the AT gun, and that's a bit slower. On a map like Angerville, I'm not sure I'd prefer an AT gun to a T70.
It's one of the worst maps for AT guns, Angerville, because obviously it's west-east split. So if your opponent... Oh god, guards 251, difficult situation. They need 2 penetrations and a rifle shot to finish it off, probably, from the PTRS firstly. But Nagano's just backpedaling, using the Grenadiers, which are currently getting grenaded on retreat there. So yeah, the guards are doing quite well, Dan, it must be said.
If you have a look at the KD at the moment, Nagano is well ahead in terms of kill-death ratio, and not to say, I mean, I think Soviets have a little bit of a harder time trying to maintain KD, at least at the start of the game. But, you know, nevertheless, a lot of manpower has been dealt in damage to Zarok, and Nagano is building. He's still got a huge army. He's got the only vehicle on the field right now.
This game's remarkably low in terms of kills so far. I mean, we're only just now hitting 4 command points for 10 minutes in. So that's what Maxims will do, though, won't they? They do choke out a game and make this early game really elongated. And it's not a dramatic, you know, squads getting wiped here and there and loads of manpower kills. So we are seeing a very slow strategical game, much like, you know, World War I kind of esque thing. You need a breakthrough unit, something with shock factor to really push through. I mean, the 251 should have been that, but then the guards came out as the soft counter, and now, to be honest, 2 guards, that's pretty much a hard counter, so it's mitigated. So we've now seen mortars. Damn, we could be in for a really long game here. So we've now got to start, in my opinion, talking about the players kind of. Do they excel in these situations where it's drawn out? Who's got the endurance factor? Who can really bring out the most of themselves and push it? Oh, squad wipe there. Well, we've actually got the Zis in a great position. The 251's having to reverse out of there.
No, couldn't get that shot on it. That was really unfortunate. He's now lost his engineers, and whichever way he was going, I was just about to say, is he banking for tier 4 with the T-3045? Well, now he actually has to invest again, like 180 manpower to actually get the engineers back on, to then build the tier. It's going to take ages for him, whilst having to recover any of these engagements. So Nagano, a huge position right now to make an impact on this game. And he's just recapping a lot of the map at the same time as well.
He is, he absolutely is. He's got Grenadiers uncontested in the east, recapping the fuel points. There are no minesweepers on the field anymore for either faction, so mines would be a great choice if they want to consolidate their advances. And I really do think we're going to see a tier 4, as you say, from Zarok. He's trying to choke out this early game and pretty much bypass the mid game. Nagano, by the way, he's gone for an interesting thing. He's gone for a pack 40, despite, you know, his opponent not having fielded any armor at all, which is an interesting one.
I think that's probably the fear, is that I think maybe just perceptionally, Zarok has controlled a lot of the map. It is hard to calculate how much resources your opponent's getting, and he does need some kind of AT to defend against what could either be Su-76 or a rushed T-34. So I don't think it's a bad idea. We always say, like, you need an AT gun, really, don't you? Like,
at some point. He's got a very large army size at the moment. I mean, what else was he going to build, I guess? If he's going to save for tier 4 himself, he might as well get the AT gun at some point. I mean, let's talk about this push, though. I mean, the 251's currently being targeted by the guards, getting pushed away itself. Maxim's obviously just firing seemingly incessantly. I mean, are you sick of that sound effect yet?
I don't mind it.
You love it. You're kind of like a... What's the Russian caster's name? Maxim, Nagano, Marzo, that's him, yeah. He goes to sleep with just that audio file on repeat.
Maxim, davai.
That's how he wakes up in the morning, yes.
I'm actually really concerned about how Zarok is handling this half track. This has been the bane of his game. Other than this, he was doing very, very well, and his Maxims are just getting outrun at the moment. This is what we see from Nagano. He's got the Pioneers, he's got 4 Grenadiers, and then the Mortars. So Zarok is constantly having to, you know, reconfigure the direction of his Maxims. He's having to move, and in those moments, we see the Grenadiers pushing in. We see, like, you know, it's a really, really good strategy for Nagano to continue putting this pressure on. And I just think without that light vehicle, there is no way of Zarok managing this efficiently, because he's always going to be under pressure and risk from losing to the Mortars and then chased down by a half track that he can't really contest with just this AT gun that is constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, it's been in the right place once, I guess, but it is the bane of Angerville is for AT guns. I mean, one thing we've got to point out, by the way, at this point, we are now nearly 15 minutes in, is that Zarok does have a VP advantage. He has pushed his opponent 100 victory points further down to Desolation than himself. So if it is going to be one of these long sworded affairs, he does have a distinct advantage so far. Also, by the way, he's going for the cut-off yet again, as is his opponent.
Actually, his guards rush then was actually really, really good and really well timed, because he forced off the MG and both of the Mortars, which is now allowing his Maxims to go up on the left side. So it's a really, really good push, and Nagano's obviously gone instantly, right, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it. So both players strategically decapped by their base cut-offs right now. And this has been a really good kind of textural game on the map like that. You know, we've constantly seen this kind of territory denied in really good ways by both players.
He nearly got that maximum retreat then. He was certainly going for it. He could have... Oh, God, the Grenadier, though, because he was trying to get the Maxim, he was suffering shots all the while, lost a lot of health. However, Dan, the green cover came to his... Oh, it didn't! It fell just the edge.
Caster's curse! Caster's
literally, no, it wasn't. As soon as he went behind the green cover, he was safe. Then he just about went around the edge of it, and that last SVT rifle shot buzzed over the wheel of the truck and hit him straight in the back of the head. In true Soviet fashion. I'll
just call it cardiac arrest. I don't think it was any bullets or anything like that. I think he just gave up. He was scared.
Certainly does have a large caliber rifle round in the back of his head. I mean, I'm no physician, but it could have been that as well. But maybe cardiac arrest was involved. He certainly doesn't have a heart anymore. So it was interesting, and so that is the benefit. Oh, we've got a 251 on the west there. We probably should keep an eye on that. The Zis is trying to reposition. All the while, however, the Grenadiers are in pursuit. This is an interesting engagement indeed.
The guards are nowhere to be seen right now. They're on the other side of the map, not even wanting to respond to this. Tier 3 is built, but we still don't have anything coming out of it. And the AT gun may just get into a close enough position to start reinforcing. Zarok will get the squads on. This is very, very lucky. He could set up here and force that half track away. Gets a good shot off on it as well.
Nice. Nice work.
That was fortunate, I think we'll call that.
We do have a Teller mine, by the way, just where the 251 is. Yeah, I was going to lambast both players for not utilising mines in this game, but it seems that Nagano's just heard me before I could even say it. He's now putting an S mine on the western victory point as well. And Zarok's now putting a mine up just where the 251 was, more than where it wasn't. Earlier on, so yeah, that's they've now started utilizing mines, which is what Angerville is notorious for. So thank God for that.
I will just defend Zarok because the kind of crossroads by the left VP, Zarok was trying to put mines down there earlier, which were constantly kind of being scouted. So I think you know, it hasn't been so bad, but yeah, we haven't seen any actual plants. Panzer IV has just come onto the field right now. This is going to add a further complication to Zarok holding the right-hand side whilst continuing to pressure left. And we haven't seen an easy route to the mortars anymore. MG position is covering the kind of mid-flank on the map for that. So Nagano has kind of learned the error of his previous formations, got much better positioning right now. And
you know what?
It's looking more and more difficult.
It is. His Maxim was on fire then, which is pretty much putting an exclamation mark on your point. The Panzer IV is now out as well, and it's standing proud in the east. Nagano is looking very strong indeed, but saying that, Zarok has now just about started the build of his T-34-85, which certainly can counter such a vehicle. What's the Panzer doing? There is a mine there.
Oh, he's actually triggered it, and we do have T-34. I don't know if that's the 85. I can't tell by the shell. It is. Okay,
I just said it was. Yeah, it is.
No, I couldn't tell because normally with the tail. I'll have a look.
But I just said it was. I just literally said it was.
Oh, you actually looked. Okay, sorry. He's going to hit the other mine, though, and the guards are going to chase. And the T-34-85 really should just go straight down the center, whereas Nagano's AT gun, it isn't
but
moving
there's a
at the moment.
telemine. If he can make it behind his own telemine, this could be such a funny escapade. T-34-85, the stockier version's coming. It's going to pursue, and it might find itself in a really difficult situation. The PaK-40 is also repositioned. Here comes the T-34-85.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is brutal.
No! No! Oh, you can see it happening.
That is horrendous.
Now he just needs to keep the vision up to spot for the PaK gun, and I think he might be able to. Oh, he needs to ground attack to get a shot to overfire, and see if he can get lucky.
Oh, but here comes Flak Panzer. Ostwind, if he gets around the rear armor of the T-34, it can penetrate. The Panzerfaust also can do the same thing. It's going to use that fist of terror to go straight through the frontal armor of the T-34 momentarily. He's getting it out of his pocket. Pocket rocket incoming, and that's one dead tank.
That was fantastic recovery there. Great, and you said it. Mines are all what Angerville is about. Mines also win games, and there you're seeing it right now. Zarok not able to get another T-34-85 on the field as of yet. Will he be able to make use of the guards with the button ability and continual use of the PTRS?
Must be said, by the way, Nagano being one of the... Oh god, to be honest, the guards are doing a great job right now, but the Ostwind's also demolishing them. The 251's now come to get some cheeky flames in, licking the guards in a non-romantic way, much more deathly disgusting way. But yeah, that was a fantastic passage of play for Nagano. Whilst all that was going on, Dan, he was microing in the west, which is the point I was trying to make, and he wiped weapons and really punished Zarok.
Wow, that is...
A road to desolation for Zarok. He went... The first tank went down the road and he thought he had it, and then he just didn't have that little trigger in the back of his head that said, hang on. If I just planted mines on this road, maybe my opponent did. If he'd only just gone down the other side of the bush, maybe, it would have been an entirely different thing, but you just don't think that in the heat of the moment.
No.
And talking about heat of the moment, the Maxim is very much a very hot machine gun right now.
I think the chance of the prize was too great for him there to resist, and it's kind of sad to see, really, because everybody knows how devastating a telemine is. If you get hit by a Teller or a Regal from the Austere, you can kiss goodbye to that tank.
Yeah, I mean, saying that, it's not really faction specific. It was only, I mean, it can be obviously heavy engine damage sometimes, but in this case it was just normal engine damage. The two T-30, so the two Soviet tank mines, or just generalist mines, I guess, both did engine damage as well. So, you know, it's just one of those things, and it's not really faction specific in my mind. It's just a little bit unlucky that Zarok just fell a miss there. He, as you say, Dan, it was the chance of the prize. What a great phrase to use. Saw the red mist and just didn't think to himself, hang on, what if my opponent's put a mine on the exact same road on his side? Could have been very different.
Absolutely. Well, Zarok is falling behind. He's down on the KD is still actually pretty horrendous, which is unfortunate, but he's actually now falling behind in army value quite significantly. Nagano has a very, very big lead visibly on the graphs now. T-34-85 is on, but is that? No, that's T-34-76, sorry, is on the field. And I don't know if I'd have chosen this over an Su-85 with this whole like support weapon play. I guess he needs the turret flexibility, but here we go. T-34 breaks through the wall. Do we get a button from the guards? No, they're going to force retreat because of a great crush by the Ostwind.
Watch the targeting of the Ostwind right now. He's targeting that guard squad, the one-man guard squad. In the middle of all that, he clicked the one-man guard squad, just getting the right angle. She didn't get the kill though. Panzer IV tags in for his Flak Panzer Ostwind comrade. The Faust goes in. This is a very, very difficult message to play for Zarok.
Yeah, it was another mis-microed engagement where the guards should not have been clumped together like that to get the button off to allow the rear armor damage from the T-34. I would have said that would have gone negatively for Nagano if it had been played differently. But where did we get out?
40 shot there. Look at the angle it's found perfectly through the alleyway. Panzer couldn't maybe finish it off. There is another Faust coming in just to add an exclamation point to an excellent passage of aggression for Nagano, and Zarok has nothing left to do but throw in the towel.
GG. All right, a good